Welcome to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo. Brought to you by Coastal Appliances, Island Automotive, Somerset Mortgage, The Emerald Princess, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care Immediate Care, Misty's Element Massage, Jenkins Nissan, and by Loco's Grill and Pub. Now here's the voice of the Glynn Academy Red Terrors, Kevin Price.
Welcome to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kevin Price. We're on location at Loco's Grill and Pub. We are here each and every week on Sunday night at 6:30 as Glynn Academy continues its season in the Class 5A state playoffs. This segment of the Hidalgo Show is sponsored by Island Automotive, Coastal Appliances, The Emerald Princess, Somerset Mortgage, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care Immediate Care, Misty's Element Massage, Jenkins Nissan, Magic 105, and Locos. Of course, Glynn Academy coming off a big win this past Friday night over defending state champion Creekside, 31-21 in the Class 5A state playoffs. Glynn Academy now moves on to the quarterfinals to face perennial power Northside Warner Robins this week, and Glynn is now 9-3 overall on the season. Now here to talk to us about the Creekside game and this coming week's game in the Elite Eight, the head ball coach of the Glynn Academy Red Terrors, Coach Rocky Hidalgo. Coach, obviously a big win. We'll put it kind of in perspective here in a moment, but what do you got to say about yourself and the Red Terrors going on the road for the second week in a row and winning in the playoffs once again?
You know, I think our kids went out and really played hard. It was probably the hardest I saw our kids play all year long. It's good to see the growth from week one until the second half of that game. And I think you really saw a product of them, a desire to win that game. I mean, that's really what it was about. I think they will themselves to win the game, and at the end of the day, it's exciting to see us go out there and play like that.
And, Coach, I don't know if you have any political aspirations, but as you keep winning, you can probably be the mayor of St. Simon's Island if you would like to be.
I've got enough problems as the football coach. I don't want to be the mayor. I can promise you that. I don't want some guy banging on my door trying to figure out how to get the stray dog out of his front yard.
All right, well, let's put this victory Friday night in a historical perspective. I know you don't have time to do all this as you watch film, but this is kind of what they pay me to do. So bear with us, and let's kind of put it in perspective in a nutshell. Glynn Academy has not gone this deep in the state playoffs since the 1964 season. Of course, that Glynn Academy team won the state championship back in '64. No Glynn Academy team has played 13 games since 1949, and that was when the 1949 team lost in the state championship against Brown and played an extra game that season, which was their 13th game, just a special deal over in Columbus, I think, against a team out of Massachusetts. And that was their 13th game. No Glynn team has won 9 games since 1998, which you have now done. So obviously some pretty good stuff that you've accomplished by getting that win this past Friday night.
Yeah, you know, it's exciting. It really is. It's really exciting to do those things. You know, and I know everybody's excited by it, and this is something that we need to expect. You know, it's funny because after we won the game, I had about 20 parents come to me and go, Coach, we had plans to go out of town this week. We didn't expect. And, you know, it's funny. It is funny to say those things, but the flip side is that culturally we've got to change our mindset that this is where we expect to be every year. That is, if we're football fans and football parents, we don't plan to make plans on Thanksgiving because we plan to be in the playoffs, and if we don't, we're disappointed. And I think that's when we'll get to the point when our expectation is to play 13, 14 games, and we can do that here. I think a lot of people are. I mean, obviously, everybody's really excited by what we've done this year, But this is something we can do every year. I'm convinced of that. I think if the people in this community get behind us, I think if we get the community support from the school system, the things that we need to do, we can be Camden County in 5A. We can be one of those programs, and I think the people here want to win. I know our kids want to win. Our kids have worked their tail off to do this, and it's exciting to see that, we preach to them every day. If you do these things, you can have success. If you do these things, you can have success. To see it become a reality. It really is, and it's a great lesson for them to learn. There's no substitute for hard work. Sometimes bad things happen to you, and you just got to put your hard hat on, grab your lunch pail, and go back to work. I think our kids did that after the loss at Ware County, and we've come a long way.
This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. And, Coach, you talked about being a work in progress and seeing the progress from week one until now. And I was watching the game film this afternoon. That was very obvious in the evolution of your offense, and we'll talk about that too. But is there any one thing, and maybe it is just that hard work and that perseverance that your kids have, that you can pinpoint that you've noticed at some point during the season to say this is why we are still here on Thanksgiving week? Is there any one thing that you can attribute this to?
Well, I started to see a change in our football team the way we practiced, and we started to practice, and I said that we're practicing better, and I knew eventually the result, the product of that practicing better would be playing better on Friday night. I think we're starting to see that, and the one thing I can say about our kids, we don't have 8 major college players on our football team. And and Creekside did. There are 8 guys that are going to go play in the BCS and the SEC. Our kids won the game because they played harder than their kids did. And I've told our kids this. If you want to be a great team, you have to beat more talented teams. No, the most talented team never wins the state championship. It doesn't. And you can go back to the history of Georgia high school football. It very seldom happens. You have to go out and you have to beat teams that are more talented than you to win the trophy. And we did that Friday night. We're going to have to go and do it again before this is over. Norcross has got a great team. They've got tons of talent. Our kids are going to go out and have to out-compete somebody. And I saw them doing it at practice. I saw them practicing better, practicing. Our tempo was better. We were engaged for longer periods. And I knew the product would be that we would come out and play great football before it's all said and done.
Now let's go back to that game Friday night. Once again, you get down in the first half, just like you did the first week against Drew. You're down 21-7 at halftime, but it's not exactly like they're dominating you. You just came up empty-handed a couple of times on offense in the first half, and really they hit a big passing play for a touchdown right before the half that I was a little bit worried about. Might have gave them all the momentum that would carry them through the game, but really, you just need to keep making plays on offense and make some stops on defense. What was your message to the team at halftime?
Well, we had, what we had done is we missed some opportunities in the first half on offense. Defensively, we blew a coverage on the long touchdown. We had a sack. We fell off a sack on a long 3rd and long that allowed them to get a first down. And I just told the kids, just do what you're doing and make those plays. And it was the same thing we said last week, is winners make things happen. We had guys who went out starting in the second half with, Seth Carroll with the onside kick. Kids ran down and got the ball. That's sometimes if we had an old saying. I played for a guy by the name of Butch Wax, who's in Louisiana High School Hall of Fame, and he had a saying that a team that won't be beat can't be beat. And sometimes you have to play like that. And I think our team their will, their determination, their desire to win the game is what allowed them to go out and compete at such a high level and beat a more talented team.
All right, well, there's more to come here on the Coach Rocky Hidalgo Show. We'll break down that second half as Glynn made his comeback to move on to the 3rd round this week. So stay with us on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, these words from our sponsors.
For all of your automotive repair needs, visit Island Automotive, 1950 Demery Road, across from the fire station on St. Simon's Island. They're a family-owned and operated business that has been delivering great service not only to St. Simon's, but to all of Southeast Georgia for over 25 years. Your complete auto repair and auto detailing facility. Online at islandautomotivecenter.com or at 912-638-0888. And go Terrors! Coastal Appliances is your one-stop shop for Whirlpool washers and dryers, Whirlpool refrigerators, and so much more. Coastal Appliances offers free delivery and service after installation and have also been in business for over 30 years. 4727 Altama, next to Sonic, and on the web at appliancesbrunswickga.com, or give them a call at 912-267-0132. Coastal Appliances, Glynn County's only specialty appliance store.
Hop aboard for Texas Hold'em tournaments, roulette, poker, lots of slot action, food, music, and more. Labor Day weekend, Sunday, August 31st, 7 p.m. Cruises depart from Brunswick, Georgia. Call 800-842-0115 or visit EmeraldPrincessCasino.com. Must be 18 years of age and present a government-issued photo ID to board.
I'm Jenkins Nissan.
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 I am Jenkins Nissan.
I'm Donnie Jenkins. We're all Jenkins Nissan, and together we want to show you just how easy buying and servicing your car should be. So please, stop by and experience the Jenkins Nissan difference. Look for the red and white Nissan tent at the corner of Chapel Crossing Road and the Spur, or visit us online at jenkinsnissanofbrunswick.com.
Welcome back to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kevin Price. We're on location from Loco's Grill and Pub on St. Simons. This segment brought to you by Island Automotive, Coastal Appliances, Jenkins Nissan, Magic 105.9, and Emerald Princess. And, Coach, let's start right with the start of the third quarter. You kick off, and you decide to onside kick it, and, of course, you recover and go down and get a field goal that kind of gets things started in the second half. Just talk about your decision to make that move with the onside kick to start the second half.
Well, I believe in coaching to win, and I think part of that is you ask the players. I ask the players to go out and play to win. We have to coach to win. I don't believe we don't spend any time talking about losing games and playing to keep things close. And I would rather lose a game 59-0 and have a chance to win and coach. And sometimes when you play somebody that may be better than you or more talented, you have to risk getting beat badly in order to win the game. You can be conservative and lose a game close and go, man, we had some opportunities, or you can coach to win. I believe in coaching to win. I don't believe in scared money. I believe in, preach to our kids to go out and play to win. We're going to coach to win. If that means making something happen, and emotionally, we've got to believe in our kids to go down and get the ball. I told them, I'm going to onside kick. We're going to go get the football. I told them that before they went out. And sometimes they see that as a reality. I mean, I've talked to them all the time. If you keep thinking something, it'll become a reality. And that's really what it was. It wasn't something necessarily that we saw that we felt like, hey, we can get this. It was, we got to take a shot. We got to juice it up, and let's go out and we're down 21-7. If we give up another 15 yards, in the grand scheme of things, is it such a big deal? We want the football back, and we were coaching to win the game, and we got the football, and it worked out.
And, of course, really you could have closed that gap a lot quicker in the third quarter. I think you missed another field goal when you actually had a chance to score a touchdown and came up empty-handed there. But anyway, you're 21-18 going into the fourth quarter, and you've taken all the momentum, and you've got Creekside on their heels. Could you kind of feel that maybe on the sidelines, that even though we're down, we've got them where we want them going into the fourth quarter?
Really, when I saw us playing defense, defensively, we started fitting on the ball better. We were tackling, being more physical. We started playing mistake-free defense. I knew that we were going to have a chance to win the game. They had a very good offensive football team. I mean, their offensive line. I mean, these guys playing on. They're not any smaller than the guys playing on Sunday over here. They were massive. But it was really. I mean, you saw some guys, Dexter Roberson, Cordero Stout. I mean, they made great plays up front. They dominated the line of scrimmage in the second half, and because of the way our defensive line was playing and we were fitting on the football, I felt like we had opportunity to win the game just because we were doing a great job. And then the other side of this, we preached all week long: make them drive the field, make them drive the field. They'll put the ball on the ground, and it happened. And our kids did a great job of going out and doing what they were coached to do, playing hard-nosed defense, tackling the football, don't give up any easy touchdowns. And it's hard to go 80 yards, 4 yards a pop.
And you mentioned Dexter Roberson. He just really probably maybe had his biggest game of the season. Would you agree with that? I mean, he was really dominating his man up front, and I guess that's one of their guys that's going on to play major college football.
Yeah, Dexter is a very talented guy. He is very explosive. He's got great change of direction. And I think the thing with Dex is he doesn't realize how good he could be. I've coached 5 guys that played major college football on the defensive line, and he has as much or more ability than all of them. And it's something that's good to see him come up in a night where we really needed him and compete like that. And that was all about his personal determination to go out and compete and help us win the game.
You're listening to the Rocky Hidalgo Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. And, Coach, let's talk about the offense. Of course, I really like the balance y'all had with the run and the pass. And anybody who saw the game or goes back and watches the film and knows what y'all look like in week one with some of your play calling, it looks like you just really are keeping defenses off balance. But you played the game with Justin Larson, your backup quarterback, and he goes out and goes 14 for 28 for 145 yards. You had 222 on the ground with Garrison Hurd having 16 carries for 106. But just once again, just good overall balance in the run and the pass game.
Yeah, I think Coach Jackson, if you've seen us on offense, he's a remarkable football coach. I mean, he really is. One of the best coaches I've ever been around. He called a great game. He's done a great job with the kids over there, obviously with both quarterbacks. I mean, we felt good going into the game with Justin. We've seen Justin develop since he's come out there. The thing I really like about Justin, he's a little different than Zach. Zach is such a good runner, but Justin is very decisive with the football in the passing game. And he's a guy that we can use. I mean, he's a guy that we could use to win games. I felt really good about us playing the game with him. I didn't think we would necessarily lose anything. He's a great leader. I think Zach was on the sideline. We would have liked to had Zach to run a couple of plays, and they're just running the football. But I think Justin's ability to throw the ball and be decisive with the football in the passing game really worked out for us.
And then Adrian Cross, he's a guy who mostly plays on defense, but you brought him in to the offensive mix going down the stretch, and he makes the run that makes it 24-21, gives you the first lead since early in the ball game, but I think it was about 30 yards, and I think he probably would have carried the whole defense into the end zone if they would have all been going after him, but he bounced off a couple of tacklers and just running like a guy who was possessed and determined to get into the end zone.
Yeah, and it was a lot. It was a great job by our offensive line getting him to the second level. When he got to the second level, Adrian's a really talented kid. He's a strong kid, and that was about his determination to get it in. I mean, at that point in time, you could feel that, our kids really believed that they were going to win the game. And when you get that feeling, sometimes it's hard to stop you. It really is. And they just played their tails off.
Do you think that experience last week helped you out in this game, getting behind against Drew and coming back and winning, just knowing you could do it 2 weeks in a row once you got the ball rolling? And I
want the experience of, hey, let's not screw things up in the first half and dig a hole for ourselves. That's the one that I want. But, I think what it did is, when you're down 14 to the state champion, there a lot of things go through everybody's head, especially in the playoffs. It would be very easy to just go, hey, let's kind of go through the motions here and let's get out and let's go have our Thanksgiving break. I mean, it really would be. But, it's hard to sell kids when you're down by 2 touchdowns. You're on the road. You're 5 hours from home. It's hard to sell kids that you can do this, you can do this. I think the fact that we had done it the week before made it easier. I think they felt confident that we could go out and eliminate the mistakes that we had done in the first half and win the game. And that's really what they did.
And I want to go back and talk about something. You mentioned the play calling by your offensive coordinator, but in an interview you did yesterday, you mentioned the play calling and the way your coordinators handle kids on both sides of the ball. And sometimes the head coach gets all the credit and all the blame, but those guys really have done a good job for you all season.
Look, I'll tell you this. Sean, Coach Jackson, is as good an offensive football coach as there is in the game. And I mean high school, college. He's a great coach. He's done a great job with our kids. I'm amazed every week when he sits down and he starts, Sunday, 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, we can't score at all. And by Monday at 9 o'clock, he's going to hang 40 on them. He's figured it out. And, that's just how he is. I got him. Oh, don't worry about it, Coach. And he's got that confidence. And, there's an old saying Muhammad Ali said is some people fail to try because they fear failure. I do not. I believe in myself. Great coaches believe in themselves. Great coaches think they can take a team that hasn't won a game in 50 years or played in the second round in 50 years and go on the road and beat the defending state champions. And I say this, we preach to our kids all the time that they have to believe. We as coaches have to believe. If we don't believe we can win, if honestly believe we can win, our kids will see right through that. And I think as a coach, I always think we can win. I believe in myself. We'll figure something out. I think Coach Jackson's the same way. I think he believes he's going to find his way to get us in the end zone enough to win the game. I think Josh Veal has done a great job. We've changed defensive schemes a little bit, going to the 3-4, and he's learning the intricacies about it. I think in the second half of the game, he called a great game. We had a couple of spots in the game where we had a couple of coverages, a couple of dinks called in there that we were trying to steal interceptions, and, man, he made great calls, and we just didn't execute it correctly. But, I mean, we could have turned the game around at any point in time if we'd have gotten really what we wanted, and we'll still work on those things. But he called a great game in terms of recognizing what they were trying to do offensively to us and making adjustments, not just at halftime, but literally from one play to the next. And I think he really did. He did a great job in the game and did a good job. Put our kids in a position to win.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll talk about this week's game against Northside in the state quarterfinals. So stay with us. We'll be right back on the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network.
Relax. Misty's Element Massage specializes in helping you do just that. Located at 138 Village Market on St. Simons Island, Misty's Element Massage offers deep tissue massages, therapeutic massages, scrubs, creams, body wraps, and much more. The perfect gift for that special someone, not to mention sports massages for that aching muscle. Schedule your appointment today at 912-224-0198 or on the web at mistyselement.com.
Bruce Kennedy Tire is your hometown destination for tires. Michelin, Goodyear, and all the brands you trust. But don't let the name fool you. Bruce Kennedy Tire, located at 2928 Norwich Street, does more than just tires. Brakes, alignments, repair work, and more than I can mention. Bruce Kennedy is locally owned and operated, so you get the best service in Glynn County. So give Bruce a call at 912-264-6578. Bruce Kennedy Tire, a name you can trust. Get affordable health care when you need it. At AppleCare Immediate Care, our team of compassionate healthcare providers is dedicated to treating each patient with the highest standard in healthcare. Located at 1111 Glynn Coach Parkway, AppleCare is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. AppleCare welcomes all walk-ins from pediatric to adult ages and accepts most insurance plans. Visit us at applecaredoctors.com and like us on Facebook.
Hello, Glynn Academy Red Terror fans. It's an exciting time of the year when football season starts. It's also an exciting time of the year if you are buying a home and need a great mortgage team on your side. The smart folks at Somerset Mortgage will help you lock in the best rates and closing costs, but more importantly, they have the patience and expertise you need to get you to the closing table. Call Somerset to find out more. 638-2020, conveniently located next to Outback on St. Simons. Somerset, 638-2020.
It's time to get together with friends and family to enjoy great games, great food, and a great atmosphere at Loco's on St. Simons Island. Loco's has something for everyone with their classic sandwiches, fresh salads, and specialty burgers. And Loco's award-winning wings, from traditional boneless or slow roasted, means it's time to get your wings on. With football season starting, don't forget to catch the game at Loco's too. Be sure to like Loco's on Facebook to keep up with the latest. Have your friends meet you at the Moose.
Welcome back to the Glynn Academy Red Terror Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kevin Price. We're on location at Loco's Grill and Pub on St. Simons. This segment brought to you by Misty's Element Massage, Bruce Kennedy Tire, AppleCare Immediate Care, and Somerset Mortgage. And, Coach, the Elite Eight is up next. Been a long time, obviously, since a team at Glynn Academy has been able to say that. Northside Warner Robins, you're playing a program this week. They're 11-1 on the season, coming off a 30-21 victory over Dalton in the second round. And, Coach, this Northside team's a perennial power, as you know, from being involved in high school football for so long. But you wouldn't expect it to be anything but difficult once you get to the state quarterfinals.
Yeah, they're very talented. But, so was Drew and so was Creekside. And we'll have an opportunity to win it. I say it every week. If we'll show up, play hard, and do the things we're coached to do, we will have an opportunity to win the game. I believe that. They have a very good team. Their offensive line is is almost as big as Creekside's. Their quarterback is a really, really talented kid. He's a sophomore, and he's going to be a special player. He does some things naturally that are tough to coach. So we're going to have to play well defensively. They're good on defense. We're going to have to go over there and play well. It's going to be a great environment. And playing against a team, I think they played for 6 state titles in the last 11, 12 years, won 2 of them. So it's a great opportunity for us. And here's the other side of this. That's who we want to be. We want to be a decade from now. We want to be the team that's competed and been in the semifinals and won state championships. That's who we want to be. And Ric Flair said, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So they're up next. So let's go. Let's roll.
We could quit now. A Muhammad Ali reference and a Ric Flair reference.
Flair.
I'm good. Are you good?
That's it. I hear you. I'm going to go with Ricky Bobby in just a second.
Okay, well, we do have about 6 more minutes, so feel free to pull them all out. But, Coach, let's talk about their offense. You mentioned the quarterback, Tobias Oliver, about 1,200 yards passing on the season. Willie Brown, their running back, about 1,700 yards rushing and 27 touchdowns. They really specialize on the ground. They have, I think, they average 331 yards on the ground. So just talk about what it's going to take from you from an X's and O's standpoint to at least slow down this ground attack that they have.
In a lot of ways, they're very similar to Creekside. I mean, they're very big up front. They try to get a hat on a hat, and they just kind of move that wall. Their tailback is in a lot of ways similar to number 44 from Creekside. He's a short, squatty. He's a little bigger, I guess, than the kid from Creekside, but he's a similar type runner. He's a real physical runner. He's not necessarily he's not a real particular shifty guy. He's not going to make you miss, but he will run over you at the drop of a hat. So we're going to have to play physical up front. I think, again, the emphasis is going to be on our defensive line, and it's going to be a big matchup for them. They've got, a couple of offensive tackles with major college offers that go out and blot out the sun. Their quarterback does a lot of good stuff. Defensively, we're going to have to play great fundamental football. We're going to have to play with great pad level. We're going to have to fit on the ball and finish tackles. I think the thing we did Friday night is we finished tackles well in the second half, and that forced turnovers. That's what we'll have to do to be successful to slow them down.
This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. And, Coach, defensively, what do you see about them that you've noticed so far just in watching a few games on film this weekend?
They're very well coached. They're probably bigger across the front line than some of the teams we've seen. They're probably the best defensive football team we've seen since Ware County, honestly. They're pretty active on the second level, and they've got good skill players. The thing that you see about them is nobody really runs the football on them very successfully. It would be real tough to just line up and knock them back and get 5 yards of carry. So we'll have to be creative. I know Coach Jackson is at work in there. He'll find a way to run the football and get us. Our goal is to get in there and keep the chains moving until we have an opportunity to get an easy one, to get a big one. And if that means throwing the ball 50 times Friday night, so be it. If that means getting 2 tights, 3 backs, and running the ball, he'll find a way to do it.
And, Coach, let's just kind of talk about things leading up to the game. Obviously, Thanksgiving week is a little bit of a different week with the holiday being on Thursday and the game being the next day. But school was also out, and this year in Glynn County it's out all week. So will you draw on some of your past experiences, how you've handled Thanksgiving week? I know a lot of coaches like it, some don't. Kind of gives you a chance to focus on football. But at the same time, kids get out of their normal routine, and I know y'all like to keep them in that routine. So just talk about how you'll handle the week of preparation.
Yeah, we'll come in tomorrow afternoon after lunch, and we'll sit down and watch film with them, have a good teaching practice tomorrow. So we're supposed to get a lot of rain, so we've kind of been out scouting areas where we might be able to practice. I think we've got an aircraft hangar secured over here at the airport maybe to get underneath. It's a little bigger than the gym. We might get in and do some work there. But we'll go in the afternoon Monday, and then we'll go in the mornings on Tuesday and Wednesday. Generally, the worst thing you can do is have the kids, they'll sleep late and lay around all day, and by the afternoon, they're not worth a darn. So what we'll do is we'll get them up and probably practice football about 9 o'clock in the morning and get them out of there by lunch, and they can go off and do what they need to do. Thursday morning, for me, I love Thursday practice, Thanksgiving Day practices. We come in, we have a nice practice, 8 o'clock in the morning. We hit the field, we have a good hour practice, and then we have a breakfast for them and feed them breakfast and wish everybody happy Thanksgiving and send them on their way. And then Friday, we'll just figure out, we're still working on our plans Friday what we're going to do, but we'll probably head out of here about 11 o'clock or so, find us a nice place to have lunch or a pregame dinner and chill out somewhere along the road and roll to the stadium about 5 o'clock.
And, Coach, you talked before the playoffs even started about how at this point of the season it's definitely a grind, and to get through the whole thing it's 5 more games after the previous 10 you've already played, and you got to make practices fun and want the players to keep coming out. But if your players aren't having fun with this, there's something wrong with them. To be playing on Turkey Week, that's fun. That's what it's all about, right?
It is. The things you have to guard against is they have to learn to handle success. And they have to understand that let's not be satisfied with what we have. We started this, we wanted to win a state championship. And our goal this week is not to, we can't win a state championship this week. We cannot do it. And we've got to have great focus. The task at hand is to beat Northside. And our kids can't go and lay in bed and think about hoisting state championship trophies because that's the easiest way to get beat. So what we've got to do is go in and think about Northside, and not be satisfied with what we've done. We have to be hungry. This time of year, there will be 4 teams that lose Friday night, and they will lose the game because something will happen to them in the game. They'll face adversity, and the 4 teams that turn around and go, it's easier just to pack our stuff up and be done with this than fight back and win. Those will be the 4 teams. And it's good, bad, or indifferent. It is hard, and you've got to fight through. Something good has to happen to you. So that when you get to this point in the season, it's really about who wants to play another week, a lot of it. And then when you have 2 teams that really want to play another week, it's the ones that do what they're asked to do and execute best. That's what it comes down to.
All right, Coach, and we've each of the first 2 weeks we talked about being here on Sunday night, whether Glynn Academy wins or loses. Let's just go ahead and plan on being here next Sunday night, talking about beating Northside and going to the state semifinals.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I think we've got a good game plan. We put a good game plan together. I think our kids will come out. I don't think our kids are satisfied with what they've done. I think we'll come out and have 3 good days of practice, and I think we'll go over to Northside and play our tails off. And that's all you can ask of them. I tell them every week, I can't promise you're going to win or lose. I can't do that. The only thing I can tell you is if you go out and play really, really hard and do what you're coached to do, you'll have an opportunity to win the game. And, I should be selling fortunes right now or telling fortunes because that has been the case, and it will be. I mean, I feel like we're talented enough to compete with anybody. And as long as we go play hard, mistake-free football, we'll have a chance to win.
All right, Coach. Well, coach them up, get them ready, and good luck this Friday night up in Warner Robins. And thanks to all of you and also everyone else for being here with us tonight for the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Come out next Sunday. We'll be right here at Loco's Grill and Pub once again at 6:30 p.m. for the Coach Hidalgo Show. I'm Kevin Price signing off. Have a good week, everyone.